I got home that day, and for a split second, I truly thought I was losing my mind. My garage door wouldn't budge no matter how many times I hit the remote. The little light just blinked red like it was mocking me. The keypad useless. So I walk around back thinking maybe I left it locked or something, but my stomach drops. There, bold as brass, someone had slapped a giant industrial padlock on my own garage, one of those shiny things you see on bank vaults. And just to twist the knife parked right in front of the door, blocking every inch of access, is Karen's SUV, this eye-burning lemon yellow beast. Not just parked angled in nose, practically kissing the garage like she was daring me to make a move. I stood there just frozen, trying to process the absurdity of it all. That garage wasn't just a place for tools and boxes. Inside was my late granddad's restored '71 Mustang, a pile of custom power tools I'd saved up for years to buy. Now I'm staring at lock block and theft all in broad daylight, but somehow wearing the face of the HOA. Right then my phone buzzes. Unknown number, single message, garage access suspended by HOA authority. Contact President Karen to appeal. That's when it hit me. This wasn't a mistake, she was making a statement. She'd declared war. 2 weeks before, the HOA had tried to fine me for unauthorized structural modification because I'd repainted my garage trim. The kicker. The garage had been built before the HOA even existed my property grandfathered in. But Karen, newly crowned president for life, wasn't one to let facts get in the way. She ran our HOA like it was her own little kingdom, monthly inspections rules that changed on a whim, fines that disappeared into mysterious maintenance budgets. At first I ignored her. I had county permits, everything above board. But she kept escalating. First a warning, then a fine, then another, each one nastier than the last. I mailed her certified copies of every legal doc I owned, but she hit back harder. Next thing I know, her little committee marked my garage for community use evaluation, which in her twisted logic gave her permission to chain it up and claim it was now shared HOA property. I didn't know whether to laugh or scream. I stormed over to Karen's house and knocked. Her 12-year-old kid answers juice pouch in one hand, Nerf gun in the other, and goes, "Mom says, talk to the HOA email," before shutting the door in my face. I finally cornered Karen at the HOA office, sitting behind this ridiculous desk that said President's Suite, sipping from a mug labeled Queen of Compliance. Didn't even look up, just points to a laminated sign. All HOA decisions are final. I try to stay calm, show her every document. She goes, "Those are outdated. Bylaws changed last quarter. You're not even listed as a contributing member. The community voted your garage is better used for collective storage. We're a sharing neighborhood now." I wanted to lose it, but instead I walked out, sat in my truck, just staring at that locked garage. That's when I remembered I'd installed a ring cam inside the garage facing out, pulled up the footage, scrolled through motion alerts. There she was, Karen, 2:46 a.m., in her robe, flashlight in one hand, giant padlock in the other, creeping up and locking my garage, then hopping back in her SUV. 30 seconds later, she's back to park directly in front, then poses for a picture like she's on a magazine cover, clipboard and all. As she walks away, her hoodie slips, revealing the key clipped to her belt. I nearly laughed myself off the driveway, then got angry all over again. But I had her. Saved the video and sent it straight to my lawyer. See, Karen thrived on control. It was never about community, it was about appearances, about making sure nobody ever challenged her. Most folks in our neighborhood just avoided conflict, but that garage, I'd built it with my dad brick by brick before he passed. It wasn't just storage, it was legacy, and I wasn't about to let her turn it into a trophy. The next day, I filed a formal complaint with the county zoning office, armed with footage, timelines, and maps. The clerk, wide-eyed, goes, "They declared your personal garage as communal. That's not just wrong, that's illegal. They bumped it to enforcement." But I had bigger plans. See, I work in aerospace engineering, and a buddy of mine, Brian, specializes in precision airlifting, like moving mobile offices onto roofs and whatnot. Called him up, told him the situation. How hard would it be to airlift a 2-car garage if it's on a slab with anchor points? He laughs. Under 8,000 pounds. We can lift it. I didn't want to destroy the garage or even touch Karen's SUV. I wanted justice. So I set it up. Quietly reinforced the slab, disguised the work as drainage improvements. Karen didn't notice she was too busy inventing new finds, but I needed her SUV back in front of the garage for the big day. So I hosted a potluck, sent out fancy invites, promised a raffle and gourmet hot dogs. Karen, never one to miss a photo op, parked her lemon SUV right where I needed it and strutted into the party. My crew prepped behind-the-scenes cables, ready hooks in place. She was too busy taking selfies with cupcakes to notice. The morning after, I got another HOA letter, 8 pages, all violations. One was for public endangerment because of a ladder, another for visual pollution because my garage trim didn't match, and my favorite garage altitude discrepancy. According to Karen, my garage was 11 inches too high for the community symmetry zone. I could just picture her outside with a tape measure, convinced the sky itself was HOA property. Karen started sending out newsletters photoshopping red X's over my garage, warning neighbors about unauthorized structures. At the next HOA meeting, she unveiled her new utility redistribution program, basically legal theft of any shed or garage not actively used for an approved purpose. Nobody had voted on it but the board. All her hand-picked friends nodded like bobbleheads. I waited until she finished her little power trip speech, then asked, "Is it standard practice to lock someone out of their property at 2:46 a.m.? Silence. Then I played the ring cam footage on the meeting room TV, Karen in slippers locking my garage, posing for a selfie. The room gasped. She tried to claim the footage was fake, but nobody was buying it. Even the city zoning inspector, Glenn, who was supposedly her buddy, showed up to investigate, but when I handed him my original permits and blueprints, he looked like he'd swallowed a lemon. Things got crazier. Karen spray-painted my driveway in neon pink, left a warning taped to my mailbox about non-approved elements. I snapped photos, sent them to code enforcement, and posted them to the neighborhood Facebook group with the caption, "When your HOA president forgets which driveway is hers." That went viral. Suddenly, neighbors started telling their own Karen horror stories. She'd fined a veteran for flying a flag, ticketed a kid for sidewalk chalk, tried to measure fences in backyards. People were fed up. With the chopper team set to arrive, I staged one final bait, a sustainability photo shoot, claiming I was converting my garage into a solar-powered garden. Karen showed up wearing her best sun hat and a badge that read Community Growth Advisor. SUV perfectly parked. My crew prepped the cables. The night before liftoff, I barely slept. At sunrise, the chopper's blades roared overhead. My heart was pounding, but everything was ready. Garage-prepped SUV inside cables, locked anchors hidden under fresh gravel. As the chopper hovered, people came outside, phones in hand, gawking. Karen, late as usual, stumbled out in her robe, saw her SUV rising with my garage, and just lost it, screaming, pointing, demanding someone stop the illegal operation. But the chopper team just kept going, lifting the whole garage SUV and all over the rooftops and setting it down in the open community field land Karen herself had tried to annex for HOA events. The irony was perfect. She tried to get the sheriff to intervene, but I'd already filed every permit, every claim, every piece of evidence. The deputy told her to step aside. The local news crew showed up, caught the whole thing live. I opened the garage, wheeled her SUV halfway out, put up a sign, HOA President's Office, open by appointment only. Karen was left speechless. The crowd actually applauded, and I just stood there grinning, feeling a weight lift off my shoulders. That garage sat in the field for weeks like a monument to rebellion. Karen tried everything, called her lawyer, filed a lawsuit for emotional distress, tried to rally support online. But the video of her midnight lock stunt, the stack of complaints from neighbors, the judge's ruling in my favor, it all added up. Karen lost her position. The board dissolved. People started actually talking to each other again. The Freedom Garage became a legend. And when the time came, I had it airlifted quietly back home, just me and a cup of coffee, no audience needed. Now, every time I open that garage, I see more than a car or a workbench. I see a reminder that sometimes the best way to fight back isn't with anger or pettiness, but with a little creativity and maybe a helicopter or two. And I have to wonder how many people out there are just waiting for their own garage moment. Anyway, let me know in the comments, was I right to fight back, or did I take it too far? Where's the line between justice and revenge when it comes to HOAs? I'll be reading every word.